What's up, y'all? This is your girl, Nemia Carnice, with another edition of She Is Nemia, High Heels and Lipstick Conversations, where we have topics for the mature woman, the grown-ass woman, the seasoned woman from every walk of life. We aim to uplift, empower, educate, and encourage the woman within, mind, body, and spirit. So let's get to it, y'all. It's High Heels and Lipstick Conversations with your girl, Nemia. Come on and tap in. What is up, y'all? What is up? It is another edition of High Heels and Lipstick Conversation with your girl. She is Nemia. I'm gonna give a chance, an opportunity for some folks to tap in. As you tap in, as you join us, if this is your first time, I just need you, if you're a lady, I need you to put some kissy lips, some red kissy lips in the chat. If you're a brother, you're checking in, you just want to see what it's all about tonight, I need you to put some fists up in the chat. Let me know that you are checking in. We want you a part of the conversation. You hear me say that. If you have checked in with me before, you have heard me say that multiple times, that we want you to be engaged. We want you a part of the conversation. I see you, Miss Deidre Moon. Thank you for checking in. Smooches to you. Thank you for joining. She is Nemia High Heels and Lipstick Conversation on this evening. That's cousin. That's cousin. That's Mickey's cousin. We got some good conversation for you this evening. Hey, Miss Jamina, thank you for checking in. Thank you for the smooches, the red lipstick, and the kisses on this evening. Thank you for checking in. I see about 10 folks checking in on She Is Nemia. Don't pay attention to my background, y'all. It's kind of windy out here. As you can see, we are once again in the backyard oasis. This isn't the first time that, we've been in the Miller's Oasis. The wind is blowing. Don't try to, girl. It's cool. It's cool. Sometimes the banner cooperates, sometimes it don't. But you see it. You see, She Is Nemia, podcast host, speaker, author, blogger, women's empowerment enthusiast. Those are all the many brands that I wear or will soon to be wearing very soon. So once again, thank you for checking in. I see you, Soror Tierra Smooches. Hey, girl. Hey, Soror. Thank you for checking in. I appreciate you on tonight. Hey, Denise. Thank you for checking in. Thank you, Smooches, to you. Hey, girl, Shakita. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for the smooches. Thank y'all for joining us. So we got a good conversation for you on tonight. But before we go into our conversation, before we introduce this lovely lady on the side of me on this evening, for those of you, if this is your first time checking in, I know we have a lot of people probably checking in that are supporting my Bad B tonight. And if this is your first time, you like, what is She Is Nemia? What is this all about? Who is this chick? What does she think? Is this another podcast? Everybody want a podcast? Um, Let me just break it down to you what High Heels and Lipstick Conversations is. I don't look at it as a podcast. It's a conversation, simply put. And to a better demonstrate or explain it, it is a conversation amongst about grown ass women. It is mature conversation. It is seasoned conversation. Our audience obviously is primarily women, but we don't leave our men out. We don't leave our brothers out. When you think of high heels and lipstick, you should think of a mindset. Okay. That's not to say, women that are younger, of a younger age, don't wear high heels and lipstick, but high heels and lipstick is simply put about a mindset. And so it's about grown women's topics, shit that we relate to. Okay. Shit that women who are 35, 40 and older shit that we relate to. Excuse me for my language tonight, but you're probably gonna hear a couple cuss words because I'm with my girl tonight, and that's how we do. And I'll give you a disclaimer in a moment, but high heels and lipstick conversation is simply put mature, grown conversation. It is for women who appreciate grown, mature conversations that are relevant to us as mature women. It is for men who appreciate women who wear high heels and lipstick. This is not a conversation that is about, obviously it's about females empowerment, because if you know me, that's my brand. That's what I do. I've always been into empowering women, young women. Now I'm of middle age, so now my brand is all about empowering women who are of our age group. But it's not a conversation that is geared towards demeaning, disempowering any segment of folks, not women and not men. So if you were looking for a conversation where we're going, down our men, especially our black men, this ain't the conversation for you. You can take yourself somewhere else. It's a whole bunch of other bloggers and YouTubers that got a whole lot of shit to say about black men ain't this, black men ain't that. This is not the conversation for you. We uplift men around here. Now, we always gonna keep it buck. We always gonna keep it a buck. We always gonna keep it 100 because that's what we do here at She Is Nemia High Heels and Lipstick Conversation. So we're gonna always have real conversations. But if this conversation is not for you, you can exit stage left. There's a bunch of other bloggers, YouTubers, and all that who are Kevin Samuels wannabes trying to follow in his footsteps. God rest his soul. Relationship experts, folks that have all kind of other topics that high heels and lipstick conversations may not necessarily be for you, but you can find some other folks who are talking about what is for you. So around here, around She Is Nemia High Heels and Lipstick and Conversation is grown folks conversation, is grown women conversations. And that's what we're all about. So if this is your first time checking in, again, I want you a part of the conversation. So let me know that you are here. Put me some fists up in the chat. If you're a brother, man, if you're a young woman, you're just checking in, you're just checking into the conversation, put me some kissy lips or some lipsticks in the chat, and we're gonna have you be a part of the conversation. So I always gotta make sure that I am capturing all the comments, not only from my YouTube page, but I'm also trying to make sure that I capture comments from my page. Let me see who's checking in with me. Hey, Nikita, that's 95 right there. Hey, Nikita Reeves, thank you for checking in. Hey, Tweety, thank you for checking in. That's another 95. All my 95 people are checking in on my page. Hey, to my brother from another mother, Janelle, thank you for checking in.
95.
95. Hey, Gigi Steph, thank you for checking in. We appreciate you for checking in. Hey, to my other Gigi Key, thank you for checking in. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us on this evening. So, before we get started, my paper them blue here. Thank you, girl. Thank you. You so nice. My friends are so nice. My bad bees are so nice. So before we get into our conversation on this evening, uh, hey, Patrice, thank you for checking in. Thank y'all for checking in. Thank you. Before we get into our conversation tonight, I always, try to um, touch on topics where I observe the world. And I have shared this on more than one occasions on high heels and lipsticks that, I observe conversations, I observe, um, you know, dynamics and relationship dynamics. I just observe the world around me. I've always been an observer. I've always observed people and behaviors. In my former life, I was probably like a, a counselor or a behavioral specialist or what have you, but or a psychologist even. I don't know. I probably should have went to school for that, but I'm in a whole nother career field. But One of the topics that has been ringing and has come up, and I've had conversations with, some people that I love, some people that I'm connected to. This whole thing about women over a certain age, women over the certain age of like 35, 40, and they've lost their value. They're not as I'm gonna say this, we're not
Marketable.
they're not as marketable, right? We're not gonna tarry long on this topic, but Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul, he's put this narrative out there that women over a certain age um, were used goods, and so that's what tonight is all about. Because baby, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna let you know. Um, my 30s, my 20s, I was finding myself. I was growing. I was trying to complete my education. I went through some hard times in life. I was trying to, you know, find my footing. I was trying to become the woman that I am today. My 30s, I felt a whole lot better about myself. Start getting into my physical fitness, and so my 30s were good, and they were a blessing. But baby, these 40s of mine, let me tell you something. I don't know how you feel. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But these 40s of mine, they are a blessing to me. I don't know about you. Like, you ladies, tell me what you think. My ladies who are 40 and over, you in the chat, share with me. How do you feel as a woman over 40? I don't know about y'all, but I feel sexier. I feel prettier. I feel like I'm more on my shit. I feel like I have found myself finally. I feel like I have learned the lessons that I needed to learn, the hard lessons that I learned in my 20s and my 30s. I feel more joyful. I'm happy. I don't give a shit about what nobody think, no what nobody gotta say no more. Like, I am at an age where I just appreciate. I could look in the mirror and I could do some Mary J. Blige shit and say, "Hey, gorgeous." That's how I feel in my 40s. I couldn't have said the same in my 20s. My 30s, I was still just, um, you know, healing from all the stuff, the ish that I went through in my 20s. But these 40s have just been a blessing for me, and so I don't know. How do y'all feel? Denise says, "I love these 40s, honey." Yes, I agree. Um, whomever is believing and feeding into the narrative that seasoned women or women over 35 or women over 40 do not have value, it sucks for y'all, because y'all, you don't know. I would love to say that people, especially men who feed into this narrative that when women get to our age, and listen, I have to play devil's advocate, because there are women out there who are in our age bracket. They haven't healed. They haven't done the things that are necessary to self-evaluate themselves. They're angry. They're mad at the world because they spent their 20s and their 30s making a whole lot of mistakes, and so they haven't come to themselves yet, or they haven't learned to glean the wisdom that is necessary from the mistakes that you made. They haven't forgiven themselves for the mistakes that they made, and that's such a necessary part of the process. So there are some women who have not gone through their process. I went through my fucking process, okay, because I didn't want to be stuck in um in a cycle of bad choices and bad decisions. And I don't know about y'all, but I love my 40s. I have arrived, I feel like. Deidre says, "I love the don't give a shitness that is me now." Yes, baby. Listen.
Don't give a shit.
Don't give two shits. Don't give two shits. Don't give two shits. It is what it is. Let me see who's checking in. So, my girl Ebony Solo says, at 45, let me see if I can. At 45, I know my value. Yes, you learn your value. You know who you are. You know your worth. Understand your worth. You appreciate your worth. When you look in a mirror, you can see your worth. Okay. Patrice says, 40 fine with a glass of wine, minding my business.
I'll
Absolutely.
toast to that.
Absolutely. Minding my business. 40 fine, minding my business with a glass of wine and don't care what nobody got to say about it. So listen, if you are one of those individuals who have fed into the narrative that women of our age group can't bring value, don't have value, I'm here to debunk that myth on this evening. That's what tonight's conversation is all about. Listen, this is no diss to the younger women because we've been younger women. I've been the young woman who made mistakes, didn't know my worth, didn't know my value, but I've been there, done that, and I'm on the other side of that. And so this is what Ladies Night is all about. It's all about women who are bad bees. And so, you know, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So, listen, if you thought for any moment you seen the advertisement and you was like, bad bees, what's that all about? It doesn't just stand for bitches, okay? And let me just put a disclaimer before I introduce my guest, the lovely lady next to me. She's one of my day ones. When we get together, just like my day ones who are in the chat, when we get together, it's a party. It's always a conversation. We always gonna keep it 100. We always gonna keep it real. That's just what we do. That's what we are about as young ladies. But we're always gonna keep it classy. We always gonna keep it sexy,
Yeah.
and you can always count on that. So the disclaimer tonight is that we ain't responsible for some of the shit that we might say tonight, okay?
Not responsible.
We are not
Look, irresponsible.
responsible, okay? So we are not here representing any organization, anybody that we work for, who we are affiliated with, that currently in the past or in the future. So we are not representing any other entity but ourselves. These thoughts, these opinions, what we express on tonight is our own thoughts, our own opinions, our own expressions. And so we just need to make that clear to y'all tonight because we ain't going to be responsible for what we say tonight. So, again, bad B. So, let me tell you what the B in behind the bad stands for because it's not just about bitches. And again, I'm going to put this disclaimer out there. Um, if this conversation is not for you, you can exit stage left. Because we are women who, again, we keep it a buck, we keep it 100. But when I'm with my day ones, it's just, I'm a little different than my 9 to 5 Nemia.
Let your hair down a little bit.
I let my hair down a little bit. It's not the button up 9 to 5 Nemia. We're a little different. These are my girls that I have been knowing over half my life, that we grew up with each other, around each other in the hood. And so the conversation might flow a little different tonight, especially because we got some stuff in our cup. Cheers. And so it might be a little different. Again, don't y'all pay attention to my backdrop. It's just the wind doing this thing. Okay. So the B stands for so many different other things than just bitches. And this is the foundation for our conversation tonight. So let me tell you what the bad B, the B stands for. It stands for blessed. Okay. Watching God work in our lives. That's what the bad B stands for. It stands for bosses on the job, career women, women that have elevated to the next level in their careers, maybe they're business owners. That's what the B stands for. The B stands for brave, brave enough to tell our stories, brave enough to say that we have made mistakes over the years, but we finally have learned from those mistakes and we're courageous enough to say, yeah, I didn't have it all together. I still don't have it all together, but I'm still a bad bee. Okay. It stands for brilliant. It's for women who are on top of their ish, their shit. It stands for bodacious, sexy within their own right. You can say what you want. We may not be your cup of tea, baby, but at 40, you feel sexy, you look sexy, your skin is glowing because you're drinking your water, you're moisturizing, and you're staying out of folks' business. It stands for bona fide, real women. We are real women. Some of y'all so caught up in the Instagram models and what you see on Instagram that you don't even know what a bona fide real woman is these days. So we're gonna show you what that is on tonight. It stands for beautiful. It stands for becoming, walking in the purpose that God has designed for us. And so it stands for bold, powerful voices. It's okay to have powerful voices. It's okay to voice yourself. In order to be a boss, you gotta be bold. You have to be able to voice yourself. And this conversation is for women over 40 and those who appreciate women who are over 40. So I want to introduce you to my girl, my bad B, my girl, Mickey. Y'all give a hand for Mickey. I need you to put some hand claps in the chat, put some kissy lips in the chat, put some red lipsticks in the chat as we open up the conversation with my girl Mickey. So say hey to the people. Hey, to the people.
How y'all
Hey
doing?
to the people. Hey to the people.
Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome. Those that are new to She Is Nemia and those who normally tune in, welcome. We're gonna have some good conversation for you tonight.
Yeah, so we got a couple people checking in. It says Arlena, very well said. She said blessed. I see Joyce Linden checked in with us on this evening. Thank y'all for checking in. We got some hand claps. Yeah, thank you, like thank you. So let's start off the conversation. Because you are a mother,
Yes.
you are a wife, you are a boss in your own right, in multiple ways. Where you want to start? Where you want to start the conversation for?
Let's kind of start with, as a woman over 40, what has life taught me?
Yeah.
Life has taught me that things can change in an instant.
Mm-hmm.
We go through different seasons in our lives.
Yes.
Some seasons you may be winning, and some you're gonna have a little losses here and there.
Right.
But guess what? Those losses are just simply lessons and stepping stones to get you back to the winning. In my 20s, I was young, I was insecure. I had my oldest son in my 20s. Was I ready for motherhood at that time? No. Did I have a lot of I had a lot of assistance from family, and we had help. My husband and I had a lot of help raising our kids when we were younger. In my 30s, I dealt with the deaths of my parents.
Yeah.
So my 30s were a little tumultuous for me. My 40s, when I say I have arrived, I have arrived. Yeah. When I say this is the best season of my life, despite different things that I've dealt with in my 40s, I can say at 45, I have definitely arrived.
Yeah.
I'm more, I know what I want. I know the woman that I am. I am no longer insecure. The negativity and drama, I have zero tolerance for that. I can no longer feed into that.
Yeah.
My relationships with friends, family, everything has come full circle. My relationships are more mature with those that I interact with. Yeah. And basically, my 40s is the bomb right now.
So you mentioned you said something that was good, like you have arrived, and you said your 20s was all about growing, your 30s was tumultuous because you had some experiences, some life experiences. What were the lessons from those experiences? What did you learn that brought you to this place at 45 where you feel like, okay, I have arrived. I'm in a good place. I got my shit together. My career is going well, which we'll talk about a little bit. We'll talk about family life a little bit. But what is it? What did you learn? What are some of the nuggets that you learned that brought you to this place where I feel like I have arrived, like I'm good?
Well, basically, the number one thing for me is God. In my 20s and 30s, yes, I was a believer. Yes, I love the Lord and things like that. But in my 40s, I've realized that without Him, we are nothing.
Yes.
Without prayer, without, all of that, we're nothing. And I realized throughout it all, and what I went through in my 20s and my 30s, those were some heartbreaking things that I dealt with. And all I can say is, but God. Right. That's it.
Right.
But God.
And He brought
me to where I am today. You know, I continue to keep my faith in Him. I bask in my blessings. I no longer look at my problems first. I look at, the blessed areas.
Yeah. Ain't it something when you can just you said something that was bask in your blessings. I think
Yes.
when I was younger, just thinking about my own journey, I used to spend a lot of time and a lot of energy on what I didn't have.
Amen. Yes.
And sometimes when we're younger, my perspective is a little different. I know that you shout out to Mr. Williams, who we know that's checking in somewhere or another.
Right.
Shout out
because
to
he's
my
watching.
right. Shout out to my brother from another mother, Peanut. We know you checking in somewhere. And we're gonna get to that in a minute. But I think when I was younger, from my own perspective, my own journey, I mulled over a lot of what I didn't have. I wasn't married. I didn't have kids. I didn't. I hadn't reached these milestones by the time that I thought that I should have reached certain milestones, or by the time that I thought I should have, I guess I should say. And for that, it brought on a lot of depression. It brought on a lot of not being grateful for where I was at that point in time, because I had some accomplishments and things of that nature, but I just I wanted what I thought I should have had at that period in time, and so I wasn't always grateful because I always looked at what I didn't have, and so it is something to be said about getting to a certain period of time in your life where you like, you know what, I'm right where God wants me to be.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
a lot of times we think that we should be this and that, but guess what? That's not what God wanted for us.
Yeah.
And I had to realize that, because me too, that's where the insecurity came in. You're like, okay, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, or this person is doing this person is doing that.
Yeah.
It was not my time.
Yeah.
It was not my time.
And you said something else. Hey Jay, my sexy Jay. Jay's checking in.
Hey, Jay.
We're gonna talk to Jay next week. We're gonna talk to Sexy Jay. We call her Sexy Jay. We're gonna talk to her next week. Another bad B. But you said something that was another good nugget, that um, comparing yourself to other people. And I think when we're younger women, we do that a lot.
A lot.
We compare ourselves,
and it's to our detriment.
It's
definitely to our detriment.
The best quote is, comparison is the thief of joy.
Amen.
When you compare yourself, she got this, she's doing this, she's doing that. Why haven't I got what she got? Why isn't God blessing me in the way that they're blessing that person? You rob yourself of so much joy.
And you know what? I've come to realize that in my 20s and 30s, I felt like material things. Do I have a Louis purse? Do I drive a Lexus? I should be this, I should be that. And now in my 40s, I could care less about those things. Because at this point, I feel like experiences are better than the material things.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd rather travel. Take me on a trip.
Come on now.
At this age. At this age. I'm no longer wanting to have this or that, or wanting to be like the Joneses. That's not. I'm in my own boat right now.
In my 40s, I'd rather stack some money.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's a whole different topic.
Right. I'd rather put some money in my bank account than to spend. And I'd say for me, I have never been the I gotta have this name brand. If people know me, that I ain't never been that type. I like nice things. Where my money has always gone is in my house, because I'm a house decor person. So I child, listen. I like plants and nice furniture, big nice furniture and curtains, and that's where I have always spent a lot of energy when it comes to spending money. My husband tell you all the time, if it's something on Amazon that look like it'll fit into the house, I'm probably gonna want to buy it. Right. My husband had to tell me, we ain't buying no more furniture for outside on the patio, because I like to have things set up nice, and I like for when people come into my home to feel comfortable. But you get to a point where those things just are not as significant, or they shouldn't be.
For
as
me, I'd rather
significant.
save some money at this point.
Yeah.
At this point in my life, I'm focusing on stacking the green.
Yeah. Now I ain't gonna lie, I like a good trip.
Oh, a good trip is
Yeah,
nice
I
too.
like a good trip. We like good girls
Yes,
trips.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we cheers. Let's
Cheers.
put some cheers. We like a good girls trip. We like to get it in.
Yes.
And so those are always fun times. I like a good trip with my husband, but some things just don't become
As important.
as important
Yes.
anymore. Yeah. What do you guys think? Come on and check in with us. If you are um in the chat, we want you to be a part of the conversation. Ebony says, and I'm watching comments from both places, guys. So if I don't see your comment, charge it to my head and not my heart, or just charge it to technology. But Ebony Solo says, "Honey, my Honda has bomb fuel efficiency, uh and my favorite tra- and my travel miles is on point." Yeah,
Amen.
that's right. That's right.
Amen.
It ain't always got to be. Now that doesn't mean you can't have the latest and greatest.
Exactly.
So it is
To each his own.
to each his own. To each his own. But again, you cannot compare yourself
To others.
to others. Okay, comparison is the thief to your joy. Okay. Yeah. So Tanza says, Jamaica, share on your page too. So you might want to share
Tell
the
me
live.
my phone's dead.
Oh, Jamaica said her phone's dead. She can't share it to her page. So if y'all are looking for Jamaica, hey, why don't you share the live? Share the live to your page. Tell people to come on over and see Jamaica. She over here on High Heels and Lipstick Conversations with She Is Nemia, having a grown ass folks conversation, a grown ass woman conversation,
Grown folks.
doing what we do, doing what we do. Okay, so we talked about the lessons that you learned in your 20s and your 30s. Let's kind of turn the conversation a little bit, because again, we said that you are a boss. The B stands for boss. You don't have to necessarily mention your organization, but what is it that you do career wise? Tell us a little bit about where you are,
Where I've come from.
where you come from, and how you kind of grew up in the ranks in your career, your title. You just had a new promotion.
Amen. Thank God for promotion.
Yes, secured the bag, baby.
Amen.
So what are you doing now currently?
Right now, I'm the assistant vice president for a credit union. This year marks 25 years for me in the credit union business. I've actually been with my current employer. I started out as an entry level teller. I quickly worked myself up through the ranks as assistant manager, branch manager, and currently assistant vice president, branch manager. When I say it has been a journey, the day I stepped foot in that credit union, did I know I'd arrive here? No.
Right.
I was 19 years old. As a matter of fact, I had no life plans. It was just a job. It was just a paycheck. How I'm gonna pay my bills. This was what it was. It has hence turned into a career for me.
Yeah.
And it's something that I love to do.
Yeah. So you love your career. You have a staff of how many people that you're leading? You got a big old staff now.
Yeah, I have a big staff now. I can't even count at this point. But I do love the team. We've gotten away from the staff thing and gotten into we are a team. We all work together. There is no I in team. So I'm kind of getting myself away from the old days of saying my staff. I do have a wonderful team that I'm proud to lead them. A couple of my team members have hence gotten promotions. One of my assistants has gotten her own branch, so she's a branch manager. Actually, she's the third one of my assistants that have gotten promoted. So I want to tap myself on the back. I feel like I'm doing something right.
Yeah. So that is good, because I'm in HR. My career is HR, and something that you just said stuck out to me. You have been responsible for turning individuals who were not originally leaders into leaders.
Yes.
That is so important.
Yes.
Okay. So as a leader, is not all about, there's no I in team. It's not always about us as leaders, as bosses, as business owners. We got to be willing to pull other folks up.
And you know what? I had to learn that a manager and a leader is not the same thing.
Not the same.
Anybody can manage, but
Right.
not everybody can lead.
Right. Yeah.
So
The and this kind of leads into one of, again, I said I'm an observer of the world around me. I observe conversations so many times as women, and especially, and I'm gonna pick on us ladies, especially as Black women. We are afraid to share knowledge with one another. We're always in competition with one another.
Competing.
We always competing. Another woman walk in the room, the first thing we do is we give, I call it the elevator eyes, because I get elevator eyes all the time. And it's not just because I'm fine, it's just, when you walk into
it's
the
that
room,
I have arrived that they can't.
Right.
They can't.
Yeah, when you walk into a room and you're confident and you know your shit and you're about business, it is just something about other Black women where and there's always this air of competition, or hoarding of knowledge. And if you truly want to be a boss, if you truly want to be a leader, you gotta see the next woman. Maybe she's younger, maybe she's fresh in her career, maybe she is striving to get to the next level in the career, maybe she wants to be you or be in your position one day. You're only as great as the individuals that you decide to pull up with you.
Yes. And it's called servant leadership.
Right.
You have to serve the people.
Right.
You can't just leading them is one thing, but you have to serve them. You have to pull them up. Pull them up with you. Pull them up there with you. I want a team. I don't want to be somebody's boss. I want a team.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can't be afraid of, listen, you cannot be afraid of sharing wisdom and sharing knowledge with women who are coming behind you, because we weren't always there.
Exactly. I had someone who helped me. As a matter of fact, when I started working at the credit union, I had a manager who she coached me along the way. And when I say coach, like in every aspect of my career, she told me day one, you won't be a teller long.
Yeah.
And boy, was she was
saw
right.
Something in. Yeah.
And she gave me the tools that I needed to actually earn the promotions that I did.
Yeah. Listen, even now at 45, even right now, and I'm blessed to be at kind of the height and pinnacle of my career. I have always made a habit, even younger in my career. I have always, even if I didn't verbally say it, or even, if I did it quietly, I have always looked to other women who were above or who were at another level in their career. I have always taken an opportunity to sit back and glean some knowledge for them, or to quietly, look at what I can learn from them for my own growth and my own development. And I think, you have to do that to be able to grow in your own right. But again, you got to be willing to pull other ladies. It's not always a competition. Okay.
No,
it's not always a competition.
It's not a race. It's a marathon, ladies.
Yeah, it's a marathon.
We can all get there.
Hey, Nick checking in. Hey, Mia checking in. Nick says, unfortunately, that's the way several are talking about us ladies that are, don't like to pull other ladies up, don't like to share wisdom, don't like to share knowledge. My mister is checking in. He said, it's always envy. Can't let that be the distraction. Exactly. Make it the motivation. Exactly.
And that definitely motivates me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a motivation for me.
Yeah. I think when you get older too, you have more of a discernment. And people will think it's a spookiness or whatever, but in my younger years, because I'm you know me on a personal level, I'm a everybody get along, kumbaya, let's rise above it. I'm that woman. I have always been that woman. I cannot help who I am as a woman. I'm probably gonna always be that woman. I'm a lover. I love on folks. That's just part of who I am as a person. I'm not petty. I don't dibble and dabble in drama. That's not me at all. But I as I've gotten older, I have learned to peep other bitches shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. I can see the shit from a mile away.
Right, I
I
can
can
see
tell you
it, and I'm gonna
that.
place you where you need to be placed. I'm gonna still
Exactly.
be cool. I'm gonna still be nice.
I think that's that Pisces thing. Because
Yeah,
that's me. I'll be
yeah,
nice. I'll smize at you. I might smize.
yeah.
But bitch, I see you.
Right. Yes. Yes. I see you. I see you.
Yes.
Nikisha says, me losing my mom when I was only 15 made me to know and believe that each of us as women need each other. I always build and never tear down. We do. We need each other. And you know, I'm a proponent of that 100%. In needing each other, identifying with each other, and just, um, you know, again, it ain't always got to be a competition.
Send me in a room full of winners because I want
Yeah,
to be. I want to be the fourth
yeah,
winner. Send me around three.
yeah.
I want to be the fourth.
Right.
know?
You only as good as your circle around you. You know,
Mhm.
if all that's around you is petty drama filled bitches, that's probably what you're gonna be.
Exactly.
Yeah. But if you're around a bunch of women, women who will motivate you, women who will help you to get
Challenge
to the
you.
next, challenge you,
Yes.
women who will keep it real with you. You always need some real bitches around you. Okay.
And unfortunately, I got a bunch of those. They're a little too real.
Listen,
but,
we keep it a little bit too real.
But I appreciate it.
Right. So, you know, because sometimes
they keep me on the straight and narrow. Sometimes I get a little off course, but
yeah. I mean, don't we all?
That's what we need. That's what we. My thing is, tell me the truth.
Right.
Don't sugarcoat it. Tell me the truth.
Yeah, tell me the truth. Don't sugarcoat it. Tell me the truth. Tell me what I need to hear. Tell me when I'm wrong. Listen, I may not want to hear it at the time.
Correct me.
And if I know it's coming from a place of love, I may be mad in the moment.
I'll get over it.
But I'll get over it. You know, like, yeah, she was right. You know,
we'll never tell each other we right, but we be like, okay.
Right. Let me buy that bitch a drink next time we go out. She was right.
Right.
Okay. Yes. Ebony says balance. We need balance. We need balance in other women around us. So,
amen.
That is all about your career, what you do as a woman. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the man that is beside you, that leads your household. How do you balance your career with being a wife? Okay. Tell us about that journey. Well, again, shout out to my brother from another mother. We know he checking in somewhere, Mr. Williams Peanut. Shout out to you. But how do you balance that?
Well, first, there's an order to it. Yeah. For me, it's wife, of course, then mother, and then career. Yeah. I've realized that I try to stay in the moment where I am at that time. If I'm at home, I'm home. If I'm at work, I'm at work. If I'm doing something with the kids, sporting events, I'm there. And I try not to intermingle the three. Yeah.
What did you have to learn?
I had to learn. I definitely had to learn. Was that a
growing process?
That was definitely a growing process. Definitely. Yeah. It took a lot of growth for that.
Yeah. Because sometimes as women who are bosses, we're bosses in our own right. Yeah. Business owners.
Yeah. My husband had to bring me down a couple levels sometimes at home because it's like, you're not my boss. Yeah. You're boss at work. Like, I'm the boss in here. You're the boss at work.
Yeah, I know Mr. Miller can probably identify with that.
He had to say, Jamica, you're not at work. Yeah. So yes, he had to get me through that.
But sometimes, so we talked. So last month, if you checked in with us last month, we talked all about, it was the month of June was all about love and relationships and seeing healthy images of Black marriages and relationships. But sometimes when we are women who are bosses within our own right, we're bosses on our job, we're bosses on our career. In our careers, we got to learn to turn the 9 to 5 off.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes that's hard, especially my job is very stressful. So sometimes getting home and turning that off is hard. What I've learned to do is the sit in the car method. Sit in the car for a little bit before you go in the house so that you're not taking that into the home. And you're not taking it out on your spouse and your kids and your friends and your family. So that's what's helping me grow through it. Is it still a work in progress for me? Yes, it is, because I do put a lot into my work.
Yeah, because you're passionate about your career. Yes. You love,
and it's hard to turn it off.
It's hard to turn it off.
It's very hard, but I'm learning and I'm realizing that if if my family's good, my kids are good, my husband's good, my relationships with my friends are good, then guess what? That makes my career even better.
Yeah.
So if I can balance all of those things and not lose those in the process of, the career.
Yeah. Mina says the balance between being a boss and a wife and transitioning between the two can be very challenging, and it can.
Yes. Amen.
But as a woman, you have to find that balance.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know that when you walk into your home, and I have admitted this. Yeah, my husband say all the time, you always in HR mode.
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
baby, you ain't
thing.
supposed to be here tonight,
Right.
baby. You was last month.
Right.
But he will say that I'm always in HR more because I'm always planning. I'm always organizing. Everything around the house got to be organized.
And you organize all our functions. We love that. She organizes the fun.
I'm always in this like organizing mode, but you have to learn, as a wife to relax.
Yes.
Yeah. You have to learn that
disconnect from the career when you get home.
Yeah, disconnect
because your family deserves that time.
Yeah,
at that time,
your husband deserves,
and definitely
your husband deserves his wife. He doesn't deserve the director of
exactly
whatever.
You don't
your
care
title
about
is.
us, you know, AVP. You're not AVP here. Look,
right.
You're the secretary.
Right. You the secretary. You the cook.
Right.
You the maid.
Exactly.
You the whatever your role is in the home. Yes. And so you got to be able to turn that off.
Yes.
Sometimes.
And even balance with my kids. I know you don't have biological kids, but you have kids.
Yeah.
And so you also have to make that time for them.
Right.
What that time for me looks like, my boys have always been into sports. So that time is usually I'm spending days in the gym, basketball games, tournaments, out of town tournaments. So, and that's the time that I spend with them. I've learned also that I've spoiled my boys a lot. So in my 40s, I'm learning to back off, allow them to, especially with my older son, allowing them to do things on their own. And realizing that they can do it. I had to take my hands off of every aspect in their life, thus me inserting the bossiness in their life.
Yeah.
And I had to realize, step back, Jamica.
Yeah.
So it's a progress.
Yeah. Nick says, I do that every day. She decompresses. Arlena says balance, leaving work at work and home at home. Yeah, yes. You gotta decompress. You gotta have some me time.
Yes.
But you gotta step back from that boss. So a boss in your own world, you're a wife when you're at home. Tell us about your support from your husband.
Okay. Well, I can say that and this may look different for, a lot of women.
Right.
What works for you?
Every relationship is different.
Every relationship is different. What works for you, works for you. I'm going to put that disclaimer out. As far as me, I've been blessed to have a husband who cooks, he cleans, and he also does things with the kids.
Yeah.
Like I've never had to worry about taking the boys to basketball practice or doing this or doing the little outside or extracurricular activities, even down to sometimes homework, even though they prefer me to help with the homework. Sometimes dad had to do the homework.
Right.
So that helped create that gave me the space and the energy I need to be that boss at work because he made my home life a lot easier.
Yeah. And that's important. Again,
he cooks more than me. So,
hey, that's what, I came home tonight. My husband had, Sam, he had been on the grill. He had salmon.
I smell it. Good job, bro.
Yeah, he had salmon fresh off the grill, chicken. He had me a nice little salad made. And those are the things that I too appreciate about being having a supportive husband. Because
that helps a lot.
It helps a lot. Marriage, I don't care what nobody say. Some of these men only want to they want a maid and a sex slave and all that. But when you truly have a partnership, some of that stuff,
a teammate,
yes.
A partner, and there is no I in that. So.
Right. And you listen, as a wife, we know our roles. We know that as a wife, it comes with a certain amount of submissiveness and things of that nature.
I'm working on that submissiveness.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to work on it. Hey, we keep it real. We keep it real. Sometimes you got to work on that. You have to find. You have to understand that word and what it means from God's perspective. Yes. And that's okay.
And break down those layers.
Yeah.
Because being a boss, on the job, it does transcend into the home.
Yeah.
So and it can affect the submissiveness.
Yeah, it can. Okay. But when you have a supportive husband,
Oh, amen.
when you have a husband that, when you have worked hard and maybe they've been at home for the day or it's their off day and you come home and they have prepared a meal, because you come through the door from a long day's work, it's such a blessing.
Yes. My sisters always laugh because they're like, you go home, you don't have to clean up because Peanut gonna clean up to the T.
Right.
It ain't gonna be a drop on the floor. So that is definitely, I'm blessed in that area.
Yeah, it's a blessing. And so, ladies, listen, if you got a good supportive husband, you better learn to appreciate him.
Amen.
Listen, sometimes you got to date him and court him and ask him out on a date. Ask him, do he want to, baby, can I take you out for dinner tonight? Those are the kind of things.
Show that man some love.
Show that man some love. Mm-hmm. Show that man that you appreciate him, that you love him, especially when you got a good one that supports you and allows you to be who you are.
Yes.
Allows you to be a boss in your own world, especially when you learn balance, when you learn to cut it off when you come home.
Yes.
When you have that kind of supportive husband.
And he's my biggest cheerleader. Yeah. Like as far as with work, as much as he doesn't want to hear about it, he's always egging me on. You need to do this. You should say this. Say this. Yeah. Write her up.
Yeah. Peanut over like, write her ass up.
But he is definitely my biggest support system. Yeah. That's the blessing.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you have that, you got to be thankful. You gotta you gotta be grateful. Okay. My husband, I don't know what he's saying. You're damn right too, but he said you're damn right. I think he's talking about appreciating
that
when you got a good husband, when you got a supportive husband that allows you to be a boss, honey. Because listen, I'm gonna just keep it real because it's high heels and lipstick conversation and She Is Nemia and we keep it real. Sometimes there are men who would not allow that. There are a segment of men, and this is not all men, but there are a segment of men who are either intimidated by a woman who's a boss.
And that's more often than not. You see that a lot. A lot of men that are intimidated.
Yeah.
By boss chicks.
Yeah. And listen, that almost goes back to the conversation that we was having earlier about men who say that women over the age of 40 or women over the age of 45 have lost their value. A lot of times men who cannot handle a woman that's a boss in her own right, a woman who's on her A game, a lot of times it's just because they can't handle it. Okay. They either want a certain amount of control, or they themselves are lacking in some areas.
And it's usually due to lacking themselves.
And they're projecting that onto their woman. So,
who wouldn't want a boss chick by their side?
Listen, who wouldn't want a partner? Right. Yes. Listen, who
don't want a teammate?
Who don't want a teammate?
Put me in the game, coach.
Who don't want somebody that's willing to build with them? Okay.
Exactly.
So before I got married, I say this all the time. I'm not for everybody, but I was for my husband.
And that's how I feel as well.
Yeah.
You know what? I like the fact that my husband allows me to be me.
Yeah.
I mean, he may walk around the house and sing "My Girl Likes to Party" all the time, but he knows, it's all in good fun.
we just like to have a good time together. We just have a good time together.
He allows me to be me.
Yeah, and that's important. That's very important.
And to know that, like, he tells me all the time that he's proud of me. He's proud of my accomplishments. He's not intimidated by my accomplishments.
Yeah, and that is so important. I can't say that enough. Yeah. Okay. So you got a supportive husband. Mm-hmm. You are a boss in your own world. And you are a mother. You spoke a little bit about your motherhood. How do you balance the three worlds? How do you balance being a boss? Mm-hmm. How do you balance being a wife? Mm-hmm. How do you balance being a mother? What are the things that you do for yourself to feng shui, to center yourself, to bring yourself, so that you're not stressed, you're not taking it out on your husband? I realized
that I'm not a superwoman. I'm not that superwoman that I thought I was. I've taken the S off my chest. Yeah. And I've realized that at times I need help. Yeah. And I'm beginning to ask for that help. It may be telling my husband, can you do this today? Because I can't do it. I have a meeting, I have this. So I'm learning to balance it. There was a time when I felt guilty about calling off work because my kids were sick.
Yeah.
There were times where I felt guilty because I missed my son's basketball games because I
Yeah.
had to work. But
Yeah.
what I had to realize is you have to prioritize in that moment. In the
Yeah.
moment that my child is ill, of course my kid was the priority.
Yeah.
In the moments when I missed the basketball game, guess what? He's gonna play 10 more.
Yeah.
I'll catch some of them because
Yeah.
at that time my team needed me. So
Yeah.
I'm learning to prioritize in the moment. That's what's
Yeah.
helping me balance it all. Even with my husband, as far as you still got to date, you still
You
got to
still
date
got a
your,
date.
you
Yeah.
still have to give them that time. I've learned to, I'm always setting aside that time for him so
Yeah.
that he doesn't feel like, okay, is it all about
Yeah.
the kids? It's all about work. Because at one time it was,
Yeah.
and he brought that to my attention that it was all about work for me.
Yeah. That, I mean, that what you said is good. My husband says y'all are Wonder Women. Um yeah,
Yeah.
but sometimes we got to take the S off our chest,
Yes,
babies.
I've learned to take that S off.
And that's one thing I'm going to admit I'm learning it more. I haven't quite captured it yet, but my
Mhm.
husband is helping me
Yes.
in that because I'm the type, again, I'm the type that everything has to be in order.
Mhm.
If I didn't clean up
And you
today,
have to realize that sometimes things are gonna fall out of order.
yeah, if I
They
didn't
are.
clean up today, if I didn't do this
Yeah.
today, if I didn't, I need to do this, I need
And
to
you're
do
gonna have
that.
those seasons that are not gonna be
Yeah,
orderly.
yeah,
And you have
yeah.
to realize that too.
And that fucks with my OCD.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
you
You're
know,
gonna have those
I have
seasons.
to, my life, the way that my life has been patterned has always been a life of order
That's
and
that HR thing.
It's the HR. That's why I'm good at what I do, y'all.
Yes.
It has to be a life of order and consistency and planned out. And so on Monday, I already know that I'm gonna spend Saturday doing X, Y,
And you
Z.
know what? That's me. I
Yeah.
plan everything to a T. If
Yeah.
anybody's my friend, they know I'm always that early friend.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be-
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah. If the party started at 7, she gonna be there no later than 7:01.
Yes, I'm so about promptness. I'm
Yeah.
so about order. It
Yeah.
has to be order.
Yeah.
Like even with my team at work, they know me. It has to be in order. You need to be here on time. You know, things need to happen on time. And I'm also a planner. Like
Yeah.
I already know what I'm doing for the weekend, the
Yeah.
entire weekend.
Yeah.
So that's a good
Yeah,
thing.
that's-
That's
Yeah.
a good.
It's a
trait
good
to
thing,
have.
but it can work against you as well.
Yes.
Denise says I have to learn to ask for help instead of being super mom, super partner,
Oh
or
yes.
super worker. That's
Yes.
my struggle.
And that's
Yeah.
the hardest thing, asking for help. And
Yeah.
I've learned to ask for help these days. I'm asking
Yeah.
for help.
Yeah.
And another thing that keeps the balance between the three is that I do self-care for myself.
Yeah.
Something I
Self-care.
never did before. Like
Yeah.
everything was always about everybody else, but now I take that time for Jamica. I
Yeah.
do the things that I want to do. I do the things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just take that moment to myself.
Yeah.
And I think we need, as women, we definitely
We
need
need
to
that.
take that time.
Yeah. My me time is the gym. You know,
Mhm.
that's the time I put on my, or I go and when the weather's like this, I go and jog my do my jog intervals in my subdivision. I put on my headphones. I put on my hip hop, my old school hip hop, and that for me is my me time. I don't have to go to the gym with nobody. I can work out by myself, and that's just my me time. And so it's important to have that me time to help center you, to help balance you. Tweety says that's very important, Jamica. As hard as we try, we cannot do everything, and it's okay.
Yes. I've learned that it is okay. It does not make you less of a mom. It does not make you less of a wife. If anything, it enhances you in those areas.
Yeah. DJ Dark Knight. Shout out to DJ Dark Knight, who got a couple events coming up tomorrow and Friday. And Saturday. Yeah. So Saturday. Caribbean Nights, if you are in the Northwest Indiana area, he is DJing at Caribbean Nights in Chesterton. He got a little thing going on at the beach on Marquette on Friday. So
and then Saturday is Dialogue.
Saturday is Dialogue. Okay. So shout out to Dark Knight. He keep it busy, but he says teamwork makes the dream work. Working out alone helps me arrange my thoughts. So even for me, and it's important for them to have their me time. My husband, he has his man cave. He has his garage. And so he himself, he's a hard worker.
Yes.
He does things to make sure that we maintain the house and things of that nature. So men need that time too.
And one thing I've learned about men, they're gonna make that me time. It's us that'll sacrifice our me time, but a man is gonna get in that man cave. He's gonna have his me time
because we feel guilty. We again, it goes back to that Superwoman thing.
Yeah, we feel like I should be doing this or I should be doing that. No, sit your ass down and rest.
Yeah, listen, you repeating something that my husband had told me, like,
sit down and
baby,
rest.
it's okay. It's okay that you didn't clean from top to bottom today. It's okay that,
and ladies,
there's a few dishes in the sink
we
today.
Have to get that rest, ladies. Like, I think a lot of us, we're surviving off 4 or 5 hours of sleep. No, we need to get those 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
In order to function. We definitely need it.
I don't know what expert said the older you get, the less sleep you need.
That's untrue.
That's not my truth, baby. Because listen, when it's time to get in bed, I'll be in bed. I take naps.
Yes. Yes. Me too. I get my nap before I came over.
Yes. Exactly. When I can. Yes. Mina says self-care is a must. Yes. So self-care is definitely a must.
In the self-care, even if it's putting on a new wig, trying some new makeup, fixing yourself up for you. That's another, self-care can be many things, but that's something. Fix yourself up, ladies.
Yeah, fix yourself up. Yes, fix yourself up for your man. Those of us who are wives, you can't be around looking haggity all the time. You gotta,
take that bonnet off.
Take that bonnet off. Put on a new wig for your husband.
Be a new person.
Be a new person. Switch into peaches or something with the new wig or something. Fix yourself up, look good for your husband.
But put that man first.
Yeah. Put him first. Even though you're a boss in your own right, even though you wear many hats, you got to be able to know when to put home life.
You have to learn to prioritize.
Life. You got to prioritize. Yeah.
And as my shirt says, wife, mother, boss.
Yeah, in that order.
In that order.
In that order. In that order. Good stuff. If you are checking in with us, I want you to put some kissy. Again, we want you to be a part of the conversation. If you have some questions, if you have some thoughts that you would like to share with Mickey, as we are, wrapping up our conversation, feel free to put that in the chat. We would love to hear your thoughts and hear your perspectives. Even when we end this conversation, you don't have to end the conversation with us. You can continue to comment on what we have said and what we have shared on tonight. Also, I need you to share. I need you to like. She Is Nemia. She Is Nemia. I need you to like and share. Because we're going to continue to have these kinds of conversations. As I said before, if you're just checking in, if you didn't catch us from the beginning, High Heels and Lipsticks and Conversations is all about grown-ass women conversations and individuals, men who like women who have grown-ass conversations. It's a mindset. When you think of High Heels and Lipsticks, you think of just, grown women, a mindset. Women that, have arrived or have evolved. If you a female that's about pettiness and drama and all that, this conversation ain't about you.
Because it's going to go over your head.
It's going to go over your head, baby. If you one of them men who don't like women who, are opinionated and bossy and got a perspective, it's going to go over your head, baby. You might as well go ahead and push the exit button. But so this conversation is for those of us who appreciate mature and seasoned conversation, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about tonight being a boss, being a wife, being a mother, and the many hats that we wear as women, and what that means, the balance that we often have to have. So this is what I want to take the conversation now. Some advice. Right. So we are women who, we talked about earlier, we have gone through things, we have learned, we have gleaned from our younger age. We've had some life lessons. We've had some challenges. We bumped our head. We have some bruises. We've had to heal. We've experienced some hurts. I need advice in all the many areas that you wear. I mean, we've dropped a lot of nuggets already. But I want to start with the boss side.
Okay.
What advice would you give to younger women, or not even just younger women, or women who are hoping to climb the career ladder, women who are hoping to get to the next level in their career, what advice would you give them as a boss?
As a boss, I would say it goes back to servant leadership. Serve those that you lead.
Serve
Bring
those
them
that you
up.
look.
Bring
Yeah.
them up to where you are.
Hmm.
You don't want them to necessarily follow you. You want them to be alongside of you. So basically, serve others.
Hmm.
Another thing, and I'm still a work in progress with this, is delegate.
Delegate.
As a
Oh,
boss,
yeah, that's
you
a big
have
one.
to learn to
I teach
delegate.
that.
That
Yeah.
goes back to asking for help.
Yeah.
You have to pass it down, because you can't you can't sow the seeds with your team if you're not delegating and passing
Hmm.
the torch. You
Yeah.
have to be able to pass that torch along.
Yeah. So delegate. Yeah.
Definitely delegation, and I'm still working on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it definitely gives you balance as a boss.
Yeah.
And then the most important thing is serving those that you lead. I can't say that enough.
Yeah.
Anybody can be a manager, but it takes a special person to be a leader.
Yeah. And when we talk about servant leadership, this is a concept that we even use in, it's used in the management world. We also use this in the HR world. But servant leaders, they serve and they lead from the bottom up.
Yes.
So you think about that hierarchy chart, and my girl is an AVP, so she's at the top of, the top of the hierarchy chart, and she has a whole team of individuals under her that are designed to support the work that she does as a leader. But servant leadership is really about being at the bottom of that hierarchy chart. That means you are giving the tools, the resources, the
Yes.
knowledge, the wisdom, all those
Sharing.
things.
One thing
Sharing.
us
Yeah.
as Black women we don't like to do is share.
Yeah.
But please, I'm a walk it. I can tell you whatever you need to know. I'll let you know.
Yeah, yeah. Missy is checking in. Melissa, shout out to Missy, my co-host on Her Voice podcast. I'm gonna tell you about that in a
Hey,
little minute.
Missy.
But she says yes, and lift as you climb. Lift as you
Yes,
climb. You
lift
gotta
'em
lift
up.
other folks
Yes,
up
you do.
as you climb. You gotta serve them. You're only as good as the team that you empower.
Amen.
Okay, so if you want to be a true boss, if you want to
Empower
climb,
them. Give them the power to
yeah,
take the reins. To
yeah,
pass that torch
yeah,
along.
yeah.
We can all win.
Yeah, I always tell my hiring managers, in what I do as a career, my leaders, my staff who are managers who are leading a team of individuals, you want to empower and equip your people to the point that if you decide to take off a whole month, that your ship will run
Yes.
without
Yes.
you there.
They can function without you.
Yeah.
That's where you want to get your team.
Yeah, you want to get your
Yes.
team to, they know they know where the bodies are buried, they know the ins and outs,
Yes.
they know what they need to do to make sure that your ship runs effortlessly. Like you can go on lunch and the shit ain't gonna go.
And you
to
got to
hell.
lead by example.
Yeah.
Because they look at you.
Yeah.
I had a young lady that I interviewed for assistant manager recently, and one of the things that one of her goals was to take my place.
Mhm.
And guess what? I wasn't mad. That lets me know.
Yeah.
And she came from my own team. And my thing is, that means I'm doing something good with her. I'm
Right.
empowering her. I'm making her feel like, hey, I can walk in those shoes right there.
Yeah, and that's excellent, because I would advise any person, what is your goal? To take your place. Hey, have at it, because once I'm done, I'm done. Once I go into retirement, baby, that's it for me. But again, leading by example. If you have other women younger in their career, fresh in their career, that looks up to you, and you are doing something where you can be admired, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're sharing wisdom, you're sharing resources, and that should be the goal for us as Black women, period. Lifting the next one up. It ain't always about us. We can't always be the top bitch, the only bitch. We got to bring some other
It could
women.
be a lot of top bitches.
Yeah, it could be a lot of top bitches, right? It's room for us all at the top. We say that all the time. That's a common conversation among us. But you should be able to pull someone else up by the bootstraps. Okay. Mr. says that's the end game. Have to lead by example. So at the end of the day, respect is key and being implemented. Yeah,
definitely. You have to earn their respect.
Yeah.
If you intend to empower them and pull them up by the bootstraps, you definitely have to earn their respect.
Yeah, you have to earn that respect. Okay. Denise says, I love to see Black boss women help others to grow, to excel, to get to the next level and be happy for them. No jealousy or feeling the next person is trying to knock them off.
Yes.
Absolutely. But to be that woman, you got to be confident in who you are.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to be confident in what you bring to the table. You got to be
and you
confident.
got to know your shit.
You got to
be
shit.
on your shit, okay?
Listen, that's a whole conversation within itself because
Yes.
like we could dig into that conversation
Yes.
how Black women on the average, in order for us to excel and grow on the corporate ladder, we got to know our shit. We got to work 10 times harder to be recognized. We got to be,
we have to have the right attitude. We have to be teachable. Guess what? I'm still teachable.
Yeah.
25 years later, I'm still revisiting things.
Yeah.
I'm still looking over policy and procedures that I've looked at 25 years because I'm teachable. I know that in order for me to grow and stay on my shit, I got to know my shit.
You got to know your shit. Right.
So.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So that's Mickey's advice for the bosses. What advice would you have for a young mother or an aspiring mother or a soon-to-be mother? In your experience, what advice would you give?
In my experience would be to also, the same way that you're empowering those folks on your job, you have to empower your children. Mm-hmm. You have to instill in them the values and the things that you want to see in them, but you also have to allow them to make mistakes. Yeah. As parents, and I've learned that we think everything is going to be perfect. They're going to live their life according to how we want them to, and that doesn't always happen. Right. We have to realize that each child is an individual, and your parenting of each of your children may be different. Yeah. My two sons are like night and day.
Yeah. So you parent them
and I parent them different. Yeah. And then also with my older son, he kind of grew up with us because he'll be 24 this year, so he kind of grew up with me
because you were a younger mother. Yeah.
My older son, I'm older, we're more laid back with him, we're more with
you didn't got older, you ain't got as much energy.
Exactly. I don't.
You can't cuss out kids like you used to.
The patience is no longer there.
Yeah.
So I would just say is to empower your children too, because that also provides that balance you need. If you teach them the tools, you give them everything that they need, they rely less on you. And that also helps you take that S off your chest. Because I found that if we're constantly doing everything for our children, we are definitely not empowering them. Yeah. Yeah. We are creating more. We're making them depend on us. Yeah. And what we want to do, we want them to, progress.
Listen, we're probably the last of the old school era. Us Generation Xers, we're kind of different from millennials and Gen Zers. Millennials, this is me going into my HR talk, but millennials are a lot of those parents are called helicopter parents because they want to swoop in and save the kids and save them from destruction and save them from mistakes.
And a lot of them also want to be their friends. I'm your parent. Yeah. I'm not your friend.
Right. So. Yeah, I don't care how old you is. I'm your parent.
Exactly.
I'm not your friend.
I am your parent.
Yeah. I'm 45, and my mama is not my friend.
Exactly. My mother never was I'm not one of your little friends. Never.
My mama is still my mama. At 45 years, and I probably got just as much gray as her under the ginger. I got just as much gray as her, but my mama is not my friend. She's my mama, and I still at 45, I still listen to my mama. Yes. When my mama say shut up, I shut up.
Shut up. These kids want to have some extra to say. You have to say shut up more than once.
When my mama got something to say, my mama give me advice or whatever, I listen to my mama, and I'm 45 years old. So, yeah.
So you have to create that balance with your kids, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Nikisha says, I have 4 kids, 2 girls and 2 boys. And yes, you have to parent different. Yeah. Yeah. You got to know their personalities. And parent them a little differently from one another.
And you can't compare them. I had to learn that as well.
Yeah.
Every child is going to be different.
Yeah. Yeah. They have their own personalities, own styles of doing things. Yeah. Okay. Good. Great. So we talked about advice as a boss. We talked about advice as a mother. Finally, what advice would you give to wives, those who desire to be a wife? Listen, ladies, we know it's hard out there. We know the dating pool has pee, pus, and blood in it. We know all of that. But if you desire to be a wife, you are soon to be a wife, or you're young in wifehood, What advice? Because you've been married. How long? You and Peanut been married?
We've been together for 24 years. We've been married for 15 years.
Yeah, so you got some stuff that you can show.
I got some stuff.
Yeah, I'm a newer wife. I've been with my husband. We've been with each other. This is our second, third time around. So we're very familiar with each other. But in terms of compared to you, I'm a newer wife. So a lot of things are still the growing pains for me as a wife.
The one thing that I learned, and number one, is prioritize your spouse.
Yeah.
They have to be priority number one.
Yeah.
They have to be, because with your when that works out, when your marriage is going good, I can tell you everything in your life falls in place. Yeah. When your relationship with your spouse is good, it's it's honest, it's what can I say? You guys are teammates. You're working towards the same goals. You can do anything.
Yeah.
Marriage is by far the hardest task I've ever had to do.
It is. It's a hard
task. Am I
task.
still learning? Yes, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
But at 45, I can say that I'm in a happy place in our marriage. We both had to grow up.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had to mature. We had to realize what we wanted out of life, where we wanted to be. We had to realize that you have to leave outside influences out.
Yeah, keep folks out your marriage. People.
That's first and foremost.
Listen, listen. Let's take a pause for the call. Keep folks out your marriage. Yeah. Keep your marriage off of Facebook. Yes. Keep your marriage off of social media. I'll tell people all day, me and my husband can be fighting mad, cussing each other out in the background. Facebook will never know.
Because I'm still going to say, I love him now.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep folks out your marriage. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So basically, the main key to that, like I said, is put your spouse first.
Yeah. Put your spouse first. Yeah. So important. So important. Listen. Can you have it all? That's my final question. Can you have it all? Can you be?
I feel like you can.
Yeah.
You can. And I feel like in order to have it all, we got to put God first.
You got to put God first.
Because that's what's going to keep you grounded. The prayer, your faith. Because like I said in the beginning, you're going to have those seasons. You're going to have those seasons where you're up. And you're going to have those seasons where you're going through some changes. But God.
Yeah. Because there's people who don't believe that you can have it all. There's people that don't believe that you can be career oriented and have a family and be a mother and be married. Like you cannot collide the three into one. But I think you are a living example of a woman who has it all. She has the great husband, the supportive husband. She has the children, the white picket fence, the booming career. You can have it all. And I'm speaking specifically to my ladies. Don't let nobody discourage you and make you think that you can't have the three combined together, that you can't, get to where you want. Listen, go if you need to go back to school, baby, go back to school.
Do what you gotta
go
do.
Take you some classes. Go
and then cultivate your circle. Who are you around?
Yeah, who are you around?
Yeah. Who is giving you that negative influence to make you feel that you can't have it all? Because baby, I can have it all and I will have it all.
Hey, speak it into existence. Yes.
God willing.
God willing.
I will have it all.
Yeah. You just got to learn to balance it all.
Yes. And it's not easy. Yeah. And to everybody, it's going to look different. What works for me may not work for Nemia. Yeah. What works for Nemia may not work for me.
Yeah.
And it's all good.
Yeah. It's all good.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This has been some, Missy said, and she fine too, body, yada. Yeah, baby, yeah. yes, child.
You can have it all.
You can have it all. You can
when we say all, we mean all.
Over 40, you can still get in the gym and still, look good and compete. Listen, drink water, moisturize, and mind your damn business. I promise you it helps your skin to glow.
Amen.
Get in the gym, drink water, mind your business. I promise you it helps your skin. Moisturize daily. Put some moisturizer on your face. Some good moisturizer. Get you some Mary Kay or something like
smile.
that.
And smile. Leave them frowns. Leave them frowns alone. Smile. Smile more.
Yeah. Happiness is possible.
It is.
It is possible. Listen, that does not exempt us from hard times and mistakes.
And you know what? We have to learn, and I'm learning this. Stop suppressing your happiness. If you're happy, you're happy. It's okay to let the world know that you're happy.
That was my biggest problem. I'm gonna admit I'm still navigating and coming on the other side of it, because sometimes you're afraid to show how happy you are, or you're afraid to, you know, be joyful and show how blessed you are.
Mhm.
And because sometimes people don't have that for themselves,
Yes.
they'll think it's phony.
And it's because they're not happy within themselves. So
Yeah.
they can't stand to see the happiness on you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to show the world that you're happy. I've realized that. Like, don't suppress it. Because
Yeah.
guess what he does for me, he can do for you too, and he
Yeah.
will do for you.
And he will do. Yeah. Yeah. You just gotta trust and believe. Sometimes you gotta go through the process.
Yes.
You gotta get your healing.
And everybody has their own season. I may
Yeah.
be in my happy season and you're not. But guess what? Next month that could definitely turn around. I may
Yeah.
be in another season and she's happy. So
Yeah.
we have to all know that,
Yeah.
it comes, it
Yeah.
goes.
And you gotta learn to be happy for other people, even though it's not your
Amen.
season.
Amen.
You know, one thing that I
Clap.
you gotta learn. You know, I won't ever say that I've not been at a. You know, we mentioned this earlier that I've been at the place where I thought, you know, in my younger years, well, I don't have what she has, and she has this, and I'm supposed to have this. But you got to learn to truly be happy for other people.
Yes.
The people around you.
And that may be what's for them. That's in the cards for them
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that that's in the cards for you.
Yeah. And you know, my point in that is when you are happy for other people, things happen for you. I saw that meme recently on Facebook. Like, when you are happy for other people, it happens for you. And
Definitely
so you gotta express joy. You gotta learn to clap for other people, ladies. You gotta learn to express joy for other people. And again, stop comparing yourself to the next woman, the next individual, because your time will come, your time will manifest. Sometimes you just gotta, go
ride the wave.
You gotta ride the wave.
Yep.
You gotta go through that thing. We all have our own journeys, and no one's journey is like the other. So, yeah. So, listen. This is my bad B right here.
It's my bad B right here.
My bad B. She's a boss. She's
fellow
blessed.
Pisces.
Yeah.
We think a lot
bold.
in so many ways. We the bougie ones out of the
we the bougie ones out the group. They call us the bougie ones. She a little bit more bougier than me, right?
Like, I beg to differ.
Her bougie, my bougie is probably like at a 7 or 8. Her bougie is at a 10.
I beg to differ. But that's okay.
Yeah. But it's all in good fun. Yes. It's all in good love.
And the thing about it, we know each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We know. She knows my bouginess is not fake. I know her HR stuff is not fake. I know that's how we are. And we accept each other for what we are.
Yeah. My husband said bougie as hell.
He's talking about his wife.
Yeah, no, he's probably talking about both of us.
Right.
Listen, it's okay. Embrace your bougie. I learned to embrace my bougie.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I
don't feel bad.
I still got some hood in me.
But guess what? I've been like this forever. I can't change.
Yeah.
I'm not changing.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for the conversation on tonight. Listen, this is what High Heels and Lipstick is all about. Mm-hmm. Again, real conversation, real grown ass conversation. Again, if this conversation is not for you, you can exit. There's a bunch of YouTubers and Facebook folks that are probably having some conversation that you'd rather hear. But She Is Nemia, High Heels and Lipstick conversation, we are always going to keep it real.
Grown and sexy.
We're always going to keep it grown. We always going to keep it sexy, because that's what we do over here at High Heels and Lipstick conversation. So thank you for joining me on this evening. Thank you for sharing some nuggets about being a boss.
And you know what? The real bad bitch isn't the Instagram model you see. Yeah. The real bad bitches are bosses. Yeah. They are God-fearing. They are family-oriented women. They are doing their thing on a lot of levels, not just
they're taking care of their family. Yeah. Listen, the real bad bitches are working their 9 to 5. They boss on their job and they getting off of work and going grocery shopping so they can have food in the house. Child. Exactly. Yes. Them the real
or
bad
sitting
bitches.
At a basketball game for hours.
Yeah.
My life.
Right. Those are so. Thank you again for the conversation. Thank y'all for checking in. We're going to end the conversation here. We really appreciate you on this evening. Listen, the conversation doesn't stop tonight. We're going to have some more conversation next week. We're coming back to you. We have some more bad bitches for you to meet. Okay. I got my girl Trayvon coming through. I got my girl Sexy J that's coming through. And we're going to have this same conversation with my girls on next week, another ladies' night coming at you. So continue to check in with us. It's Lady Night. We're checking in with Trayvon. We're checking in with Jay. And we're going to just continue this conversation. Again, I need you to like and share. Share She Is Nemia. If you like something that was said, something that was shared, I need you to share on your page, share the conversation. I need you to continue the conversation in the chat because we want you to continue. We want to continue to hear what you have to say about what we have shared on this evening. Listen, again, I mentioned this earlier, high heels and lipstick conversation. I don't consider this necessarily a podcast, right? Okay. Um, High heels and lipstick conversation operates a little different. It's a conversation, right? But I do have a podcast, okay? And I have a podcast host, and we are coming to you soon. Her Voice podcast coming to you back on August 2nd. Look, shout out again to my cousin Missy. We're on several different platforms. Her Voice featuring Nikki and Missy. We took a little hiatus. You know, life get as women who are bosses, as women who are mothers. We're involved in our community. We got a lot of stuff going on because that's what we do. We balance all the balls in the air. Sometimes life just gets the best of us, and so we took a little hiatus at Her Voice featuring Nikki and Missy, but we're coming back. And so we got some good conversation for your ass coming back on August 2nd. So I need you to look us up on YouTube, look us up on Facebook, look us up on Instagram, Her Voice. You can search us at Her Voice featuring Nikki and Missy. We're on all social medias because we got some conversation coming for you on August 2nd. Matter of fact, we're talking about something that's that's been hitting the headlines. We got some stuff to say. We got some opinions about Roe v. versus Wade. And so we want you to tap into our conversation. We want you to follow us on Facebook. We want you to follow us on Instagram. Don't forget to follow She Is Nemia because She Is Nemia is not going anywhere. I'm just adding to what I already do. So we're coming back at you. And so we can continue the conversation right here on She Is Nemia and also on Her Voice featuring Nikki and Missy. So, again, thank y'all for checking in on this evening. We're going to be right back at you next week, same time, same bat channel, Wednesday, July 27th at 7:30 p.m. with some more bad B's. And the B don't only stand for bitch; it stands for a bunch of other things. But we're going to be in with you, checking in again, and we're going to carry on the conversation. Because we can have it all. And so we're going to hear some different perspectives on next week. So thank you for checking in. Me and Mickey about to check out and finish our drinks and wrap this thing up, and so we can get back to our worlds of being a wife and a mother. This is just the boss side, so we got to check out and get to the
Boss
other
BS
side.
right now.
Yeah, but we're in boss mode right now. So again, thank y'all for checking in. We appreciate you. Smooches, thank you. We'll see you next time.